Change has come to America.
Believe it. Help is on the way.
Knock, knock.
A night, a few days. Now you may have noticed I am not John Fetterman, the next senator of our great state. So before I get started, I would like to take a moment to address the elephant in the room, which is that my husband, John Fetterman, is not in the room tonight. As I'm sure most of you know, John had a little hiccup on Friday while we were on the road campaigning. Thank God he's already on his way to a full recovery. We're so grateful to the doctors, nurses, and staff at Penn Medical, Lancaster General, who have gone above and beyond to support our family and all the families that they serve. John also wants to thank every single one of you. During one of the hardest weeks of our lives, end of this election, you made sure we all felt so supported and so loved. Of course, there's nothing John likes more than being on the campaign trail, and the time off has been hard on him. Back on Friday, I noticed something was off. He didn't even want to go to the hospital. He didn't want to miss the events we had planned, but I insisted, and as usual, I was right. And I'm so glad I made him go for two reasons. The first is that doctors were able to act quickly, and John is going to be back on his feet in no time. And the second reason is that I now have one more thing I get to hold over him. I mean, I saved his life, right? I will never let him live that down.
I love her. I love her. That's Gisele Fetterman, John Fetterman's wife. And that was the acceptance speech last night because he won the Democratic nomination for the Senate race over the centrist Connor Lamb. That was the Democratic primary over there. And all in all, it was a decent night for progressives. It really was. We're getting there, everybody. We're getting there. Pennsylvania also chose Summer Lee over a corporate Democrat, Mr. Irwin there. That was really a great, shot in the arm. We also had a, I don't know if it's done yet. You'll tell me because we have a lot of listeners out there in Oregon. But in Oregon, there was a contest between Jamie McLeod Skinner against Kurt Schrader. Kurt Schrader is an incumbent. It's usually hard to beat an incumbent. Kurt Schrader is obviously an impediment to progress as a Democrat in that he whipped up, anxiety and, no votes for Build Back Better in the House of Representatives there. And Kurt Schrader also was against the lowering of drug prices, the bill that would have addressed drug pricing. So he got beat last night. Well, like I said, they're still counting out in Oregon. I'm not sure if it's done. I checked out about 11:30, 12 o'clock last night, and when I went to check today, it still had her with a very significant lead. I think it was 69% of the vote went to Jamie McLeod Skinner ahead of Kurt Schrader. So I'm gonna say that it looks really, really good for her. And of course, John Fetterman, who was struck with apparently he's got heart disease is what it is, but he has AFib, which means the top part of his heart and the bottom part of his heart don't work in synchronicity. They don't work together. Created an opportunity for a blood clot to form. Blood clot did form. He actually was, his wife Gisele noticed that he wasn't himself, and she said he started to slur his words, which is an important sign of stroke, as you know. And she made him get medical intervention, and they were able to fix his heart. And also, and I think they're going to put in they said a pacemaker. I think it's a defibrillator pacemaker to keep the beat of his heart nice and steady. And also, they were able to remove the blood clot, so the stroke threat has been removed. But she accepted on behalf of him last night, and it was the first chance I really got to see her. I did see a little clip the other day of her in the hospital room with John Fetterman, where she said, it was my idea that you got help. It was my idea that you got help. And I just, I thought, Okay, how do those two stay married? But it turns out that Gisele Fetterman has a wicked, wicked sense of humor.
Now, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Gisele Fetterman, the second lady of Pennsylvania. Or as I like to call it, slop. I met John many years, 3 kids and 2 dogs ago, before he was Pennsylvania's next senator. Back then, he was just a guy trying to pour love into Braddock, a small steel town that helped build America and had been left behind. He moved there to teach GED classes, and after 2 of his students were gunned down, he ran for mayor to stop the violence, bring back jobs, and bring hope. I read about the work John was doing, and I was inspired. Long story short, I joined him in Braddock. He, of course, fell madly in love with me. We got married, and we've been working together ever since to make sure that no one is left behind.
She's fabulous. She is a secret weapon that we didn't even know, or I didn't know, and I'm pretty political over here, you know, and I didn't know he had that. I didn't know he had a secret weapon, but he's got a secret weapon. And it's not his pacemaker. It's not his defibrillator. No, it's not, the doctors that say, it's her. She's amazing. She's just so lovable and adorable. And it's obvious that they're in love with each other. It's obvious they're crazy in love. And people love love. As much as the right wing loves hate, people, most people in America, not even on the left, but in the middle, I would say most people love love more than they love hate. So it looked good. I was very excited to, get to know her a little tiny bit last night at the acceptance speech. I was glad to see that he prevailed because, as good a candidate as Conor Lamb was, he was a, middle of the road centrist, sort of mealy-mouthed, like neither here nor there. And I see a lot of progressives last night did really, really, really well. The other groovy news, the other really cool news, was that the Republicans were able to oppo research and attack their own. They actually were able to hobble and remove Madison Cawthorn, all washed up at 26 years old. Isn't that amazing? There's Madison there. I've seen Chinese gymnasts that have more of a career than he does. Washed up at 26. Oh, okay. He can't join the Russian gymnastic team. But yeah, he's all washed up at 26 years old. Besides for the fact that he could still rake in millions as being a lunatic spokesperson for the MAGA types, then he's all washed up. But, listen, if they call the political speaking circuit the rubber chicken circuit, they could call the MAGA speaking circuit the rubber room circuit. And Madison would be perfect for that. But apparently, so what we're supposed to believe is he was too crude, too corrupt, and too embarrassing for North Carolinians in his district. I think it's the 11th district, where he tried to not run. He tried to go to another district, and then they threw out the map because it was unconstitutional, and he had to go back to his old district, and then they, didn't vote for him last night. They didn't vote for him because he's too... No. This was the Republican Party literally eating him, literally eating their own. Why? Why would they do that? Well, it's certainly not because he's racist, and it's certainly not because he pretended Jesus, lifted him out of his wheelchair when it was really 2 of his friends, acting as security guards. No, it was because he said that the GOP parties at orgies with cocaine.